Hey awesome spirits, and welcome to another weekly reading by me, Amanda, and Indigo Spirit. Man, last week was kind of a whirlwind for me. I don't know about anybody else, but it was interesting when I was reviewing last week and finding that a lot of the cards really worked in ways that I wasn't expecting it to. So that's the other thing about weekly readings, is sometimes cards will pop up and you'll think they'll mean one thing, and you look at it and you go, oh my gosh, it was either way literal or completely symbolic, you know? So you really be looking, I mean, if you want, rewatch the weekly reading from last week and see kind of like how your week kind of matched up to that. You know, sometimes we watch it and kind of internalize it, but kind of like, you know, forget what kind of goes on in the rest of the week. So take the time to, like, every once in a while review. But anyway, I was feeling like whirlwind this week, so I figured, okay, we all need a little bit of power, so I'm using the Archangel Power Tarot deck, like I like to use sometimes. It's been a little while since I've felt the need to use it, but I'm really glad I did this morning on myself, and I definitely feel like, yeah, we need a little power in our step today. So I'm gonna go ahead and just flip through here. What do we, as a big Indigo Spirit group, need to know for this week? I feel like the High Council's all there. Tons of guides. Definitely this bottom one. This bottom one wants to come out for the beginning of the week. Ooh, alright. This one wants to come out for the middle of the week. It kind of popped out at me. Sometimes they pop right out of the deck. You don't even need to do any thinking or anything. It's like the angels just make them fly right out. And let's check out the last... Oh, there it is. A flying one. Bam! This must be our end of the week card. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going on here. So in the beginning of the week... Oh, I love it. Bam! This goes along perfectly with our weekly reading last week. The finish what you started, you know, during last weekend. This right here, it's the Two of Michael, and it's kind of like if there's maybe a couple of us or a couple people who have not per se made like a decision, have not finished what they've started, or are still in the midst of finishing what they started. Make the decision, be clear on what you want, you know. Don't overanalyze. You know, it says right here, don't overanalyze, find a compromise. That's definitely what this card is about. Continuing to finish what we started, continuing to, you know, I apologize, I have crazy kitties. Continuing upon the path of like clearing out the clutter. It's part of clearing out the clutter, overanalyzing, doing things in your head, really like overdoing it. Don't overdo it. Don't overthink it. If it's good for you, you'll feel it. If it's not, you'll know. You know, you'll know. Don't overthink it. And if you catch yourself overthinking it, stop. What was my first initial reaction? Because usually what we get in our head, first and foremost, our first initial instinct, our first initial gut reaction, it's right, you know, that's your guide instantly helping you, you know, but sometimes we overthink it and overanalyze it, and we you know, lose track. We lose track of like how we actually feel about the situation. Think about your feelings. Think about what your first gut reaction is and what it is to do. Think about whether it's a good idea. Sometimes our first gut reactions are not good, but finishing what we started. It's continuing on. And actually it's kind of funny because there's some unicorns right there in this picture, which was that was the deck that we used last week. So kind of interesting. They're still with us. They're still kind of like, hey, pay attention to what last week's reading was. I feel like it's still kind of going on. Let's check out our middle of the week here. Let's see. The Seven of Raphael. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Okay, the Seven of Raphael is really, really interesting. And actually, if I read the bottom, you guys are going to laugh. Time to make a decision. Huh. It'll be all good if you just make a decision. time to make the damn decision. So by the middle of this week, we really need to clear out the clutter. It means make your decision, do what you need to do. And it says, like, be clear. I just said be clear on what you want, what you need in this last card. Bam! Be clear on what you want and what you need. You know, it's definitely a time for clearing out the clutter. And really, you know, here they use, like, detoxification. You know, if you're feeling like you're just going, using, doing, you know, whatever, take the time. Finish what you started. Get the stuff done. Let's finish up, because it's kind of lingering from last week. I don't feel like last week is done. It's kind of a strange thing. I don't feel like last week is done. I feel like we're still continuing what was going on last week and working on it harder. This is so funny that I picked these two cards. They're almost exactly the darn same, you know, pretty much in their own ways. But you know, Archangel Raphael wants to heal. You know, so this is definitely like, hey, this is for your better good. You need to get this going. You need to be done with it. Definitely be working on yourself this week. We need to finish what we started. We need to make the decisions we need to make without clouding our judgment or, you know, overanalyzing, right? We don't need to overanalyze anything. So let's go to the end of the week, you know, and see kind of what's going on there. I'm almost laughing because I feel like it'll still go along with all of this, but I find it so hilarious. See, these things are crazy. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Two whole cards about decision making and getting your crap done this week. Getting that excess stuff off so that you can really open up, be free, use the light within yourself. You know what I mean? And be able to hear your guides a little better. Be able to, like, run your life a little more the way you want. So let's look at the end of the week here. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so the Four of Ariel is very, very interesting. I get this one kind of a lot. It could mean everything from how you're spending your money to how you're balancing out your life. You know, on there, I know it might be hard to read, but it says when you give, you also receive. You know, like, what you give is what you get. It's just a basic thing. It's just always been like that. You know, I apologize if it's a little dark here. I tried to get some light in here, but you know, the other part of this is, are you spending a lot of money? Are you checking your money? Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Definitely be checking on your finances. Definitely be, I mean, this is all part of clearing it up. You know what I mean? So we clear up all the things, make the decisions we need to make, clear off our energy for the week. And you want to know what? That leaves us open to receive, you know, and be able to give of ourselves much better, you know, when we don't have this extra stress hanging over us. If we can't help ourselves, we can't help others. So a big thing is making these decisions that we need to make, getting these things done that we need to get done, so that we can really open ourselves up to receive and balance. Also, just check yourself before you wreck yourself. You know, it's just a friendly reminder. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. But anywho, this is a really interesting week. It's definitely a continuation of last week with the, you know, needing to find the light within ourselves and use that light within ourselves to make the decisions that we need to make, and to clear out the clutter from that these decisions are making in our head and in our soul. So I hope everyone has a lovely week. This is definitely a work on yourself week. Just don't worry about anybody else. If you get upset, take a breath. You know my motto, take a breath, let it go. We're all working on ourselves this week. So just don't worry about anybody else or what craziness is happening there. Just do what you need to do for yourself. Hope everyone has a wonderful week. Indigo Blessings.